In this lesson, we are going to set up contracts in your Sprout Studio account. And much like how we did in the last lesson on email templates, we're going to set up some contract templates so that you write the contract and you import the contract once, and then you can use it over and over and over again. And similar to how we did it with email templates, how we used variables to put in the proper information based on the client and the shoot and the lead and all the information within that, we're going to do the same thing for contracts so that you don't have to put in all the details up front, but instead you use variables, you add them to the template, and then when you use that template on a lead or in a shoot or with a client, it brings over the proper information. So I have Sprout opened up to the contract templates section. And to get there, I'm in settings, I've clicked booking, and then I've clicked contract templates. By default, I don't have any. So we're going to go ahead and add a new contract template. I'm going to call this one my wedding contract. And what I'm going to do is, again, similar to how we did it in email templates, you can type in any information that you'd like to type in here. It's a full WYSIWYG editor, but then you can also add in any of the variables down over here. I've got one already copied from my clipboard. So if you have contracts that you already have in maybe Microsoft Word or in Google Docs, or if you're coming from another system and you want to bring those contracts over, you can copy those to your clipboard and then paste, and there we go. And everything is copied over here into Sprout. And you can see here, I have things like today's date, or the photographer name, or client name. I have package, payment schedule, the shoot date. I have all those variables added in here from up here. And that way, again, they are reused over and over again every time that you use this contract. There are two custom variables that I want to point your attention to. One's called an accept checkbox. And what I can do is I can actually add that anywhere that I'd like in my contract. And it shows up like this, just says accept as a variable. But when the client goes to sign it, it's going to show up as a little checkbox that they have to click off, almost kind of like initialing somewhere on a contract. So that's great if you want to draw special attention to any one part of your contract. And then the other variable that I'd like to point out is the insert text field. So if you'd like to have any information added to a contract that your client has to input, if you want to have partner names, or if you want to have locations or anything like that that you'd like to have baked into your contract, then you can go ahead and put that input field there, and they have to type that in and type in an input, type in text, and it gets baked into the contract as a part of the contract. And those are some special variables there that you have for contracts. The other section down here under settings is just additional signatures. So by default, there's just one signature. You can actually name it whatever you'd like. So by default, it just says signature, but you could actually type in the word client name, or you could type in the name partner 1, and you could add then partner 2 if you wanted to have a second signature. So if you want to have multiple signatures on a contract, you can, and you can just put the names down here, whatever you'd like to call them, partner 1, partner 2, and that's good to go. And that is how you set up contract templates. We're going to go ahead and add that. We're going to save that, and then I'm also going to add it to my group wedding because we created that in the last video when making email templates, so that again, everything stays nice and organized in here. Now, while I'm in here, really quickly, what I want to point out is Sprout Template Library. What we've built for you in Sprout Template Library with a whole bunch of different sections. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of templates pre-built for you here. Now you're seeing here, a lot of these are only available on paid plans. So if you're interested in taking advantage of those templates, you get them for free when you're a paying subscriber to Sprout Studio. But we have sample wedding contracts and newborn contracts and portrait contracts. And if you go on up here to the email templates, you can see here that there are dozens and dozens and dozens of different email templates, and we also have the same thing for workflows and for really anything and everything that you can imagine. We have templates for all of that. So we've basically built you a business in a box. If you're interested in getting started on the right foot and not having to necessarily do all of the work manually, you can see here how many there are, then definitely would recommend that you take advantage of the Sprout template library. We've built them for you based on years and years and decades of best practices in sales psychology to get you started on the right foot. So definitely take a look at Sprout template library so you can get those things baked into your account right out of the gate and not have to do all the work manually if you don't already have these things created. But in a nutshell, that's how you create contract templates here in Spritz.